nothing like them nowhere. Alabama football, Dreamland Barbecue, the perfect team.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. At the Aldridge Law Firm in the Legal Town Center, we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188. Just remember, we're here to help, whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Alabama! Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Transmitter is working perfectly. I hear everything clear as a bell.
Clinton Yates always brings the heat.
I can lead a nation with a microphone.
I am pleased to be joined by ESPN's Clinton Yates.
With a microphone.
I would imagine most of you have never heard of Clinton Yates. He's irrelevant.
This is my new favorite show. We welcome in Clinton Yates. Clinton, I've mentioned this to you before. When I think of people who love the game, I think of you.
That right there is Clinton Yates.
Clinton Yates! Clinton Yates, incredible job today. Our pal Clinton Yates.
People like Clinton Yates.
Let's first begin by saying good day to my friend Clinton Yates. There's a lot to talk about here.
Clinton, where the hell are you at?
From Studio 5 at LA Live, this is Clinton and Friends on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
At Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy, it's not just what we do, it's who we are. Founded in 2003 by Huntsville natives Scott Johnson and Todd Hayes, Johnson & Hayes brings exceptional care to every patient through an all-star team of highly trained physical therapists. From sports performance to post-op rehab, dizziness, women's health, and more. With 7 locations across North Alabama, expert care is always close to home. Learn more at johnsonandhayes.com. Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy, where extraordinary care meets exceptional outcomes.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to the show. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, 2 hours straight of sports talk, goops, gaffs, and so much more, including your phone calls at 256-576-97.7. As we finish off week 1 of the NFL slate with the Bears and the Vikings. And let me tell you, those are some really good young quarterbacks that we are getting to witness on the rise. And Joe, I know you have some doubts about them, but
not them, just one.
Oh, now I'm more intrigued to see where you're going to go with that. Of course, Vikings came out and won that one, scoring 21 points in the second half of that game, in the fourth quarter to be more specific. And it was definitely another primetime matchup that a lot of people are probably going to say looked scripted. But, Joe, I mean, this is just the way of the sport. I mean, 2 professional teams on the field at the same time. The emotions are flying. This is the best of the best, and we get the best of the best when it comes down to it.
And I know the direction you want to go, but one thing you just said just really kind of annoys me, and it's not that you said it, it's just that more people think it. The whole idea that sports is scripted is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. Like, I do not understand how on earth anybody can think a sport is scripted. Now, are there people that cheat? Absolutely. Absolutely. But do you realize how hard it is for 3 guys to go out to a restaurant, share, we'll call them war stories.
Yeah.
And everybody walk away from that table believing that all 3 guys are going to keep their mouth shut? Like let's be honest about this, okay? Like it is radio station. Let's look at that. We get told something, and the first thing I say is, all right, just don't go outside. Just don't let nobody say anything. And you know what the first thing I do when I go home? I talk to my wife about it. I do. I talk to my wife. We talk about everything.
No, what are you telling your wife about me? I'm joking.
Yeah. No. So that's what I'm saying. I do that. That is a 1 to 3 to 7 person conversation. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you really believe that over 200 people at minimum are going to be in on a script? Let's be honest. Like, that is asinine. And to think guys like Antonio Brown that go crazy, or anybody else that has had like just that go off the total deep end, wouldn't literally go, hey man, here's the email. I got the whole thing for you right here. Here's a paper copy. All right. Come on, man. Like, that's just the one dumb person said it in a podcast and everybody wants to think it's real.
It's hard to even comprehend how it would be possible, even at that. I mean, maybe if you tell like the best of the best in the league, like the guys that are actually the highlight players, but still, I mean, there are plays that come down to it where it just seems like it would be a little bit far-fetched, but of course it was a great game. I want to blame
a tremendous game.
I want to say just a spectacular performance from both Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy. I know, Joe, I'm excited to see what you have to say about it, but I think for the first Monday Night Football game, to represent some of the younger talent as well as some of the older talent in the Aaron Joneses, on top of that, the Justin Fields, you have the DJ Moores and the Adam Thielens. I mean, it literally gave NFL fans everything they wanted. On top of that, it's the Bears. They've got a humongous fan base that's scattered all around the place, just like those Michigan fans. On top of that, the Vikings, who, of course, want to see a little bit of justice as they can continue to move forward in that franchise. But, of course, we'll have a quick rundown of these games, our feelings on them, get them out of the way, and then we look towards week 2. But there is a lot more college football talk to be had, and it's all going to be presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys that you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Also got a conversation on the docket today with Robbie Falk with Starkville Daily. That's right, we're actually talking Mississippi State, because why wouldn't we after they get a massive win against what the Big 12 thought was going to be one of their best teams? I absolutely love this storyline, Joe.
Well, and last year, this game was also extremely close, and that was when the game was in Arizona. Yeah. Mississippi State almost won that one. And so for the return game, and look, this Mississippi State team is good, man. When they have their quarterback in, that's how important this is for every single offense. When you have your quarterback, you can do a lot of things. Him staying healthy could absolutely change the way that we look at the middle of the SEC. I'm not saying Mississippi State's going to be one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the conference.
I don't even think they're a middle best team in the conference.
But look, the thing is with the way Vanderbilt's playing now, with the way that Mississippi State's playing now, literally the bottom is Kentucky. That's it. That's the way it looks like.
South Carolina as well.
And South Carolina is questionable because we keep thinking that they're going to be better when they're not. Oh. So there's a lot of questions with this. That bottom tier, it may not actually be like a bottom tier, just maybe one lonely guy in a room by himself, which is Kentucky. Yeah. But that's what you get when Zach Calzada is your quarterback. Yeah, the middle tier of the SEC right now could be running really deep.
Yeah, but people are probably still going to say, well, Kentucky challenged Ole Miss. Well, last year they beat Ole Miss, and they were still one of the worst teams in the SEC. So try and tell me a little bit more about that one. But, of course, Blake Shapen, the quarterback in question that you're talking about, he did look very good in that matchup against Arizona State, and maybe throughout the week as well. And I used to say this quite a bit, Joe, but I used to say that the bottom of the SEC could beat a majority of the middle tier to upper tier of any other conference, and maybe that also includes the Big Ten. It used to definitely include the Big Ten. Nowadays, it's a little bit more shaky, but when you think about it, like South Carolina, Mississippi State, I mean, these teams used to be at the bottom of the barrel, and now seeing them get those players, get those challenges, now it's showing you why the SEC is so important. And I'm not just going to, nonstop say that the SEC is more important, but it really is, because it is challenging the rest of the conferences to get good. Some conferences just can't do that. They don't have the capabilities. I'm looking at you, Big 12, but ACC with Carson Beck. Have you seen the Heisman rating so far? He is up there. On top of that, John Mateer, a guy that came over from Washington State that, again, wasn't really in a conference, but he comes on over here. He's now one of the top players in all of college football. It is showing you.
I mean, just again.
And I know it's early in the season.
It's very early, and it was just one game. Now, it was one game against a big team. Just one game.
But these guys are showing a lot of potential. And I know potential could also be the worst thing, but it also could be a really good thing. Just look at what's going on with Lenora Sellers. But Joe, I noticed that the title of this episode is actually going to be focusing on Auburn and Alabama's run game.
Yeah, multiple reasons.
Yeah,
multiple reasons, and we'll get into those at 9:20. Mainly because I wasn't prepared for you to bring that up, so I don't have all the stuff like audio pulled up for it. Just
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because I got to connect to things. I got to make sure it all works. And so that's it.
Well, I didn't want to throw you into the fire, Joe.
No. And so, the run game is going to be in question. I know that a lot of this is being talked about Wisconsin's run game, and because of what we found out earlier in the week, or I should say yesterday, as a matter of fact, with Auburn and Darrell Robinson and what happened with him, which is the oddest thing. Like, that is, if you don't know, like yesterday, Hugh Freeze did his press conference, and he talked about how Sunday morning when Darrell Robinson woke up, he had a collection of blood on his thigh.
Oh, geez.
And so they had to rush him to Birmingham, where they had to cut his leg open to get all the blood out.
Did he have was it a bruise bleed or something?
They
like
have
that?
No idea.
That would be wild.
He said that it was the strangest thing that he has ever seen as his time as a coach. And trust me, Hugh Freeze has seen some strange things.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot. A lot of it's his own doing. But if he's saying it's strange, it was extremely odd in this, which you take him away, and then Damari Alston's still trying to recover. He's a game time decision for Saturday. So now your running back room isn't looking too good. So we'll talk more about that, but more about with also the fact that Alabama's going up against a Wisconsin team right now that their run defense has been playing very well. And without Jam Miller, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. So a lot of that happening in there. But you also asked me about Monday Night Football because you said,
yes,
you said, when I made that, you were asking.
Of the two quarterbacks, I mean, J.J. McCarthy in his first start wasn't bad. I know you're not talking about him. And then
absolutely not talking about J.J.
Caleb
McCarthy.
Williams, the guy's pocket presence was actually insane last night. Now, was he a little bit jumpy at times? I do think so. Yes. He was overthrowing wide receivers left and right. However, he was also throwing some darts after getting out of the pocket or stepping into the pocket, and he looked comfortable doing it. Again, the ball release could be a little shaky at times, but he looked super comfortable behind his center, and he was also moving around, even though his offensive line didn't really show too much help, but he held on to the ball a little too long.
No, he showed progression.
But he was fast. He was moving.
He was fast, and he was moving. The problem is that he really shouldn't be like that. And also the biggest thing as well when it comes to this, all the stuff you were talking about with him and how well he did, let's not forget that. How many points did Chicago put up last night?
21.
They put up 24.
24, sorry.
7 of those was on a pick 6. So that offense still only put up 17 points. They scored 2 touchdowns. First one was early in the game. And I'm still looking at his decision-making as far as his ways to throw, getting out of it, and being able to keep his eyes downfield. Yes, he has progressed. That is not in doubt that we've seen a little bit of progression from him. No. I think that he's still extremely antsy in the pocket. And I think that is part of the reason why I still don't trust him, because he does have a lot of weapons. I mean, depends on how healthy Moore is going to be, because I know that he got banged up at a point in time.
Slapped at the end of that game.
But between, I believe Swift probably needed a little bit more usage than what he got. I think Adunze should have gotten the ball more. I think Komet should have gotten it more as well. There was a lot of things that I think that they should have been able to do, plus the fact that you still cannot go 3 of 12 on third down. You cannot be 3 of 12 on third down. You cannot also put yourself in third and longs the way that they did and have to go into third downs that way. You also had an opportunity to get 3 more points. Your kicker messed up. So
it's Chicago.
It is Chicago.
This is like the battle of the bad kickers.
But at the same time, these are things that have got to be cleaned up. And I think that week one, yes, it's still week one, but it was also week one. And this was a very emotional game for JJ McCarthy.
No.
I mean, look, think about with him specifically, because I know that we have talked a lot about what happened at Michigan with Harbaugh and with Stallions and all this. Let's not forget, JJ McCarthy was the biggest benefactor of all of this.
Yeah, he was.
Like I've always wondered about this, and not what his role was, but how much he benefited from the knowledge of what Harbaugh and Stallions were able to get from everything and how they were able to prep this team and things along those lines. I was curious about how good he was going to be because he was injured all of last year. And since he's taken his first or his last real snap in that national championship game, look at how much has come out about the team that he played in. So I was curious about how good he was going to be, and he impressed me way more than what Caleb Williams did because you were emotional. This was a homecoming for you. You did grow up all of like one red light away from Soldier Fields. I mean, it was really like 8 or 10 miles, but the way they made it, the way they talked about it, like this was a kid that grew up in this stadium, and that is where you start your very first game. This was a massive game for him. And for him to not only be down at one point in time, 17-6 and what it is, come back, and then for this team to play as well as they did in the fourth quarter, you could see the Bears fans be just hyped. And then the moment they missed the field goal at the beginning of the fourth quarter, it was like, well, crap, we're screwed.
Yeah, it all kind of.
And they were still winning. They
were
still up by like 11 points, and they're like, well, we're screwed. It's done. It's over.
I can only imagine how he feels compared to a guy like Kirk Cousins, the last Vikings quarterback, that had some primetime games. J.J. McCarthy's had one primetime game, and he's 1-0. Kirk Cousins had like he had several primetime matchups, and it took him so long to win, especially with the Vikings. And I think that is such a relieving thing for J.J. McCarthy and Vikings fans to see. And on top of that, of course, 13 for 20, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick six thrown from J.J. McCarthy. That'll be kind of cleaned up in time. But
yeah, it was a bad read. He read man.
Yeah.
It was zone.
Yeah.
The cornerback jumped the route. There was nobody in front of him.
Like a Trey Dixon type of play right there.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it really was a Trey Dixon play because the defender just read it perfectly. You had a quick curl route, and then it was basically a 3-step drop and go, and the defender read it, picked it, and just went in basically with nobody around.
My delight from last night actually came from Jordan Mason, the former 49ers running back, being used as much as he was. He had 15 attempts, 68 yards, and he didn't have a touchdown, but he was the main back that the Vikings were using yesterday. So for fantasy lovers out there, if you guys have Aaron Jones, or if you guys were thinking about getting Aaron Jones, I'm saying Jordan Mason's probably a pretty good pickup. If you guys want to have that Vikings running back, I would definitely keep an eye on him.
I do understand why you say that, but fantasy-wise as well, Jones still had a touchdown. He also had multiple catches. So from a PPR standpoint, Jones is still the guy to go to.
Of course he is, Joe.
But I would put him on your wish list or your watch list, whichever one it is in your league, and you say, I'm gonna pay attention to it because I still think that you still have Hawkinson on this team that's going to get a little bit more looks as well from the past game. You also have
Josh Naylor.
Well, Naylor as well, but also,
good.
Obviously Justin Jefferson, which only had like one catch going into the fourth quarter. There's a lot of players on this team in a lot of ways to divvy up the ball. That Mason having a good game, I don't want to say, because I think the Bears' run defense is not as good as what it could be because they were so focused on making sure that Naylor and Jefferson didn't hurt them. Plus, you also have another wide receiver that's going to be coming back in a few weeks as well. So
wrong about that.
Yeah.
If you guys want to join in on the conversation or react to the football we had this weekend as well as last night, you can. 256-576-97-7. Mason is a good back, though, Joe.
No, he is. He is a good back.
Jones, though, again, is one of those dudes that will at least get 1 or 2 big plays that will make up for the lack of touches that he gets throughout the actual game. I'm just saying, put Mason on watch. He was a good back to get last year whenever Christian McCaffrey was out, as well as that other guy that we forgot the name of. What was that other running back, Joe? I'm pretty sure you picked him up at one point. Second string 49ers running back.
God,
Gerardo?
Yeah, he was like the third string running back.
Yeah.
Because McCarthy was already out. Not McCarthy, but
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey was already out. Then Mason has a big game. Then he goes down, and then I went for the third string running back, and then he didn't do jack, and then I think he got injured.
No. He did have a good game. He had one really good game, but then it was obviously Mason started coming back, and then everything started.
No, and that's what fantasy football is finding who has the hot hands. And I am a way that and I'll always tell you this when I'm going to a draft. Now that we've done our draft, I am looking for targets more than I am looking for anything else. I am looking for what guy, when the quarterback drops back passing wise, is he going to be the target over anybody else? When it's carries, that's what I want to know. Who is going to touch the football more than any other back in that backfield? Mm-hmm. Those are the guys that I want in my fantasy leagues.
Well, if that's the case, then Jordan Mason would be perfect for you. Either way, we'll take it a break. Off of that, when we get back, a little bit more of the NFL news from the week, as well as college football talk, as we look at the backfield for Alabama and Auburn as they look forward to these week 3 matchups. Yeah, that's right. It's week 3, believe it or not. I think, is it? I don't even know. It's so confusing with week 0. We'll be back here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
This is the Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road. The new Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in South Huntsville is focused on serving great food prepared with the absolute freshest ingredients, featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. See all the delicious options at Cheeseburger Bobby's for yourself. Check out the menu and more at cheeseburgerbobbies.com.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. A clear and quiet night across the Tennessee Valley for this Tuesday night. Low temperatures fall into the upper 50s to lower 60s in some areas. Heading into our Wednesday, we warm into the upper 80s for the afternoon. Expect to continue to see plenty of sunshine.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Swung on, lifted, deep left, back goes O'Donnell, he looks up, it's done, and it's over! Denzer again, the goose is loose!
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
Hey, mister, won't you sell me a fake ID? There's a band in the bar that I'm dying to see. I got my money and you got one.
ESPN Winchester. Make sure that you continue to listen even after 10 o'clock because you can hop in over at WCCN TV and watch us live there. That's where John and myself are at the moment. You can also get those comments in simply by going to X, YouTube, Facebook, subscribing right there. Boom, you're going to be able to see the show, and it's a lot cooler, especially if you are at work and you can't really talk. You got the earbuds in and you're just kind of doing your thing. Boom, you can hop in there and get those comments. We're going to read those throughout the show. If you can get in on the phone lines, it is 256-576-977. And always, just in case you ever in a situation you need them, Fleming Roofing and Restoration are the ones that we tell you that you need to give a call just in case your roof or anything else is having an issue.
But thankfully, it's been some beautiful weather, but that wind will pick up, so make sure you guys keep an eye on those shingles, and if you see one or two of them's missing, of course, give our buddies a call or just look them up online. FlemingHSV.com, the place to find them.
That's absolutely right. So John brought this up just a little while ago because he asked about the title of the show. I come up with the titles of the show every day.
Yeah.
And I try to do something that includes, all three teams, Alabama, Auburn, and Tennessee, depending on if that is possible, unless it's just a major story like what happened to Alabama.
Well, Nico Iamaleava gone. What's Tennessee going to do with that? Hey, people love that one. They ate that one up.
Oh, yeah, trust me. And oh, no, Nico, that was giving us hundreds of thousands of views on that. That was legit.
And now it's giving UCLA 2 losses.
Yeah, and I don't even think he's starting anymore, to be honest. I don't even think he started the season. But then you also have, the other things that is kind of like a situation that both Alabama and Auburn are going to be in this week for totally different reasons, like absolutely totally different reasons. Mm-hmm. Now, Auburn is playing South Alabama. Okay. Nothing against South Alabama. Their starting quarterback transferred away. He's at North Carolina right now, but it was nothing against them. It's not an SEC matchup.
No, it's thrown out as a cupcake game. And against Tulane, South Alabama actually played really well, but against an SEC squad, again, you expect a big win from Auburn.
No, you absolutely should. So, and the reason why this is going to be, I would say, a bigger game with Auburn as far as the running attack is concerned is because of what we heard yesterday from Hugh Freeze about Darrell Robinson and the fact that Sunday morning they had to rush him to Birmingham Hospital because of a blood collection that was in his leg. And that they had to put him into surgery and they had to cut the spot open to release the blood.
Armageddon leg.
It's seriously like there was no answer or medical reason that was given for this. It was just something that happened. Mm-hmm. Now, there are other instances in this could be way more severe that, this can actually cause a massive issue. So it's good that they got to this early.
No doubt.
Obviously, I am not a doctor, but I am married to a nurse. And I'm sure if I asked her about it, she could probably give me the diagnosis of it without even
Let's give her a
hesitating.
Call.
No, because she's right now at a job fair that she's doing. And so she's shaking a lot of people's hands at this event that she's going to be at. So she really can't take my phone call. And if I did, the first thing she would go is everything okay? Is everything okay? And I was like, nope, we're fine. I just want to ask you a question.
Well, Joe, maybe if she finds time, she can call into the phone lines 256-576-9777. Continue on.
So that's part of the issue because the UConn transfers has been a part of this running attack. Then you also have Damari Alston that's still out. He is still coming back from a shoulder injury. He is a game time decision. So what that means is that for Auburn, you're down to Jeremiah Cobb, which is RB1, and Omar Mabson, who got like 4 carries for like 25 yards. But when you see him in an Auburn uniform, it's really like seeing a freshman on a varsity game. Yeah. Like it's just, you look like they didn't have any other pads his size. Like he just looked a little bit smaller than what you would have expected. So that's why the running game is a little bit more of an issue for it. Now, here's the other part of this is, do you bring Jackson Arnold back in for more running? Because in all theory in this, he could be your number 1 or number 2 runner.
Well, I look at this one, and of course it's South Alabama, so you will be able to stretch out that backfield a little bit more. You'll be able to throw out some of the more depth pieces that you got. And Jackson Arnold, I think he will probably be a part of this run game, but at the same time, will he even need to be? I think they're going to focus a lot more on the passing game, try and shore it up a little bit more, get those talented wide receivers some catches, and then, of course, still use Cobb because last game, he was an absolute beast. He was a workhorse. You don't want to give him too many touches, but 11 touches last game for 121 yards would be just enough. He had 2 touchdowns, and he was a big reason why they scored the 42 points. But again, you got to get that throwing game. You got to get that passing game good. You got to make sure Jackson Arnold feels very comfortable. And against Ball State, he looked just that. He was 24 of 28, the complete opposite of what we saw whenever he was facing off against the Baylor team. But again, this is not normal competition. Whenever you get into SEC play, he's going to need to get it to his Cam Coleman.
It's a preseason game,
no doubt.
That's how I look at it. Nothing against those
Ball State
G5s.
Negative 3 yards, guys. Let's be real.
They did. They had negative 3 yards. This is a preseason game, just like La Monroe preseason game. Like I know it happened after the first week of the regular season, but this is college football's version of a preseason. That's the reason why I don't take any of it seriously. I never, ever do. Like it is, you may see a guy that you go, you know what, we could throw him in, get him a little bit more rotation, see if he does well whenever we start getting into bigger games. So maybe a cornerback can get a play or 2 of rest and then get back on the field. Yeah. Like you may see some stuff like that, but it isn't going to determine who is a starter and who's not.
No doubt. You want to make sure you guys are confident. And remember last year, whenever Peyton Thorne was the quarterback, he was chucking up long balls. He was looking like a stud of a quarterback.
Yeah.
And then,
do you guys remember how y'all treated me on that one after the very first game? I came in and said Peyton Thorne was trash. Like, do you see what he did against Alabama A&M? Exactly.
Hey, it looked like he could throw the ball.
It was like Auburn ran onto the field, and then when Alabama A&M ran on the field, they had that button from Click, and he just put it at like half speed.
Never watched that movie.
You've never seen Click?
I think I've maybe seen some scenes, if you know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about because that's probably one of Adam Sandler's best movies.
What?
As far as like older Adam Sandler, like you don't put him up there with Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison, but Click was an amazing movie, and I promise you, you will get emotional in that movie at some point in time.
Okay.
You absolutely will.
Does he have problems with his family?
It's Adam Sandler.
Of course, then he has problems with his family.
Why do you think he gets the remote to begin with? Do you know anything about the remote?
I know it slows down time.
Yeah, it slows down time. It speeds up time.
Okay.
It pauses time. It does whatever. It changes the channel. You can totally go multiverse. Adam Sandler was going into the multiverse before we even knew about it in Marvel or DC.
Gotcha. Well, maybe Hugh Freeze got a hold of this last year and sped forward so he could look past this past season and look forward to Jackson Arnold.
No, because I wish I could have done that with this season. But that's what I'm saying is remember, Peyton Thorne, everybody was so incredibly excited about him after the first game. Maybe this is the season. I want to see him against a real defense. Yeah. Okay, South Alabama is still going to be a preseason game. That's still going to be one where you're trying to get everything right before you go to, what's the game next week?
Oh, are you asking me that?
Yes. That's a John Abraham quiz game question. You have the map right there in front of you, the map of games.
I had to grab it real quick. Sorry. Auburn's playing Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Actually, now it looks even more appealing as a game.
Yeah, because of Mateer. And now look at that game coming up in 2 weeks, and you put that and how both of those teams could be going into that game now. Auburn's undefeated and Oklahoma just beat Michigan this past week. And they're in love with Mateer right now. You think that fan base isn't going to be giving Jackson Arnold crap?
Yeah, and it's a 1-2 punch too, because they get Oklahoma and then they have to go to Texas A&M, which Texas A&M, I don't know if they've looked better than Oklahoma. I'll be real, but I think they're still around that area where they can challenge your team.
But Oklahoma has a big road game coming up this week, and because Oklahoma, to prepare for Auburn, are traveling to Philadelphia to play Temple.
Oh my gosh.
Because somehow that game is actually happening. I'm cool with it. Give me more of actual home and homes. Even if it does send you to Philadelphia, give me more home and homes.
It's a weird game.
It is absolutely weird. It would truly be like Auburn and Rutgers playing back-to-back games.
No, this is
home and home.
This is worse than that. This is definitely worse than that. Temple and Rutgers. I mean, Rutgers is bad, but Rutgers is a part of the Big Ten. I mean, some would say the Big Ten runs college football right now. I'm looking at you, AC. I'm looking at you, bro. I'm just gonna say that.
But those are Auburn's issues. It's totally different with Alabama, because with Alabama still looking to not have Jam Miller most likely this weekend. The thought is, a matter of fact, DeBoer even talked about how he's progressing and all this other stuff. You believe you're going to have Ryan Williams, believe that you're going to have him. Still trying to go through the concussion protocol after getting knocked out of the game against Florida State. But Wisconsin is coming in, and they've been able to stop the run game a lot better than what they have in the past. And so Kalen DeBoer was asked about that yesterday during his press conference, and here's what he said.
Yeah, we'll certainly look at that. I think there's a little more carryover with their defense just because of the same coordinator. And so, you're going to get a physical team, typical Wisconsin, a lot of pride in who they are, what their identity is. And that showed up in the first two games. Very, very when it comes to run game, very, just kind of rock solid, keeping things under wraps. I think it's 60 to 70 yards total in rushing over two games. They do what they do, and they're going to do it with great technique in all ways. And, balanced offense, I think, with the run game really setting up the play action, the shots, you're going to try to get your free access throws, get the ball out to receivers when you have to load the box. And so, there's some great fundamental things that they do, and we got to match the physicality with great effort, do a good job of getting ball carriers down, getting them into situations. I think just the name of the game would always be to put teams in down and distances they don't want to be in, make them uncomfortable, and you can pin your ears back and get after the quarterback.
So the question is going to be about this but see, here's where I say is I am questioning about how good Wisconsin's run defense is, because did you see who their first two games were against? You
two preseason games.
Two preseason games to start it. Miami of Ohio and MTSU.
And yeah, you could say, they shut out Miami of Ohio, but they only put up 17 points. Middle Tennessee actually held them to a pretty good margin going into the second half, and then Wisconsin was able to open up that one. But again, Middle Tennessee lost to Austin Peay in week 1. Miami of Ohio, guys, do you know what conference they're in? Crickets. There you go.
Wait. It is the MAC.
It's
right?
the MAC.
I was about to say it is the MAC, right?
So yeah, we're talking about an FBS
I was saying
team.
Get more of like, wait a second, did they move? Like I'm trying to think and go, wait, did they have any conference realignment that I haven't thought of?
I don't think the Big Ten reached out to him. I don't think the Big Ten reached out to him.
No. Big 10, Big 12, nobody.
The Pac didn't do it either.
Okay, just wanted to double check on it. So how big is the question mark though for Alabama in the run game? Like we know Auburn's. Now, Auburn's also playing South Alabama, so it may not be as big of an issue all in this, because you get 2 or 3 deep passes to Cam Coleman or to Eric Singleton Jr., you're up 21-0 after the first quarter, and you're like, all right, cool, we can coast.
I don't really think it's going to be a problem for Alabama. I mean, yeah, we saw a litany of running backs last week against UL Monroe, and we saw a lot of talent. If it's not Richard Young, who was really impressive in the pass protection, he got a lot less touches than some of the other running backs. If it's not him, though, we're looking at guys like Daniel Hill. We're looking at guys like Deere, Riley. I mean, there is a long list of running backs that I feel like Alabama could throw at them, and they could find success. It truly looks like a team an Alabama team from the past where they were able to find success just off of the run game on their own because they had so many talented backs. That's exactly what Alabama's got this year. Of course, it just comes down to if these guys are comfortable, if the offensive line does its job, and if the handoffs are correct, which this isn't Sparkman football. And they're not switching up the quarterbacks mid-game, so let's just be comfortable with what we got in Ty Simpson and run game. I think that Alabama will be completely fine, but they'll kill us compared to Auburn. Auburn's got their starting back going in, but it's the backups that I am unsure of when it comes down to it.
Like right now, should I think anything about the fact that Wisconsin's in, I think, the top 10 in sacks and TFLs and
no.
The fact that their quarterback is already thrown for over 400 yards and should
this is their backup quarterback we're talking about as well.
I know that's the reason why I'm asking these questions because again, when you hear about it, and I know how Alabama fans have been worried, obviously, about Alabama, and again, it's La Monroe, so I don't take much stock from anything that happened in that except for giving you a little bit of confidence. Should I be thinking about the same thing with Wisconsin?
I think you should still be skeptical because I am still skeptical on this Alabama team. And I look at them against UL Monroe. It's great to see all the success that they had. But again, Florida State, I think Florida State could be held above a Wisconsin team right now. Wisconsin, of course, 14th in the Big Ten. But of course, this is the Big Ten we're talking about. This is a conference that is, at the moment, very high up within the college football standings. So we're looking at a team that is coming in 2-0, but who did they play? Two teams that aren't going to challenge any of the teams that are going to find themselves in the playoffs by the end of the season. So I would be skeptical just because it's a Big Ten squad, but at the same time, Alabama goes into their home last year, absolutely decimates them. Now it's going to be in Bryant-Denny Stadium. I think the crowd's going to play a big role. I think they're going to show up. They're not just going to fill out the seats. They're also going to be very loud because from the stands and the players' perspective, yes, you're playing Wisconsin. Yes, they haven't had too many challenges on the season, but this is a Big Ten team, and right now, everybody knows it's the SEC versus the Big Ten. I think this game is going to be one where Alabama comes out. They're not overlooking this, or they're not undervaluing this opponent. They're going into it thinking that this is going to be a top-tier matchup. And, of course, it is their biggest out-of-conference matchup, so they're going to come out with a fire, I would say, on their seat.
Was Wisconsin's or Alabama's biggest out-of-conference?
I would say this is both, I would say.
I mean, is this bigger than Florida State?
At the beginning of the season, I would say it was until it happened.
It was until it wasn't. It was until about that third quarter we started going, oh, crap.
It's definitely Wisconsin's biggest out-of-conference game.
Now,
so for Wisconsin, they need to – they're going to go into this game, 100%. They're going to be wanting to win this one. But, again, Alabama cannot overlook any of their out-of-conference opponents, and I think they learned that as soon as the season started.
No, because, for the rest of the season for Wisconsin's all conference play.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have a POS week. Like, it is all conference games.
But we got 9 conference games. We got 9 conference. Who are you playing out of conference? Miami, Ohio. Middle Tennessee. Who are you playing in conference? Maryland. Oh.
Well, you've got 17 options, don't you? I mean, you can't help that you're having to play Iowa. You can't help that you're having to play Maryland. That's just how the schedule works.
Get more competitive teams, I would say. But
I mean, for majority of the time, you would have argued that Illinois wouldn't have been a game that you go, oh, you got to play Illinois. Yeah, they're a top 10 team right now.
Illinois,
and they looked really good last week against Duke.
But that's at the end of the season. Wisconsin, of course, also has Oregon and Ohio State and Michigan. So, as much as we dog on the Big Ten, they're still going to have some tough schedules. And Wisconsin is one of those teams that has shored up their schedule. The only top-tier team that they're not playing within their conference is Penn State. They have Indiana on this schedule, as well as Minnesota at the end that really looked good last week. But again, bunch of POS teams. I don't think Wisconsin's one of those teams we need to worry too much about. But if Alabama's thinking that, they could find themselves in a world of hurt. And I don't want to even think that because this is in Bryant-Denny. Alabama plays very good at home. Away games are the ones that I'm concerned about. And, of course, after this one, we're into SEC play. And there's going to be a whole lot of away and home. And thankfully for Alabama, this year, their away schedule is not as tough. But, of course, Georgia will be that next matchup.
You saw that Georgia game.
After a bye week. So Alabama has some time to get even more shored up before this big-time SEC matchup.
All right,
that will be on our airways, by the way. I just want to
because every Alabama game is on our airways.
Because we are the home of Crimson Tide football.
256-576-977. John has got his rundown ready to go. We're going to recap the week that was the NFL. He's getting excited. You can watch him punching the screen like he's getting ready to go up and face Apollo Creed when we come back on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Spencer Strider, $1.12 favorite today against the Cubs at Truist Park. The total is 8.5 over. Cubs minus 108 with Cade Horton on the mound. Atlanta Falcons, 4.5-point road dogs of the Minnesota Vikings at U.S. Bank Stadium this week on Sunday Night Football. The Vikings yesterday scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Bears on Monday Night Football. Alabama 20.5-point home favorites with Wisconsin Saturday at home. Auburn laying 25.5 against South Alabama. Georgia Southern 3.5-point favorites over Jacksonville State. UAB laying 11.5 at home against Akron, 52.5 the total. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Does it really matter which dealership you plan to buy from? Short answer is yes. Hi folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. Taking a little time to find out about the dealership before you buy can have a big payoff. Customer reviews let you know what others think, and that's good. But industry reviews can tell you even more. Woody Anderson Ford is proud to have been selected as Ford's Triple Crown winner, an award that only 1% of the top Ford dealers in the country are able to earn. This is a big deal, and here's why. Ford's Triple Crown is based on superior customer service, sales excellence, and over-the-top service delivery. And again, only 1% of the top Ford dealers in all of America achieve this goal. Woody Anderson Ford is top of the top. So when it's time to pull the trigger on your next car, truck, or SUV, we'd be honored if you'd give us a chance to show you how we earned our Triple Crown status. Woody Anderson Ford. I'm Bobby White, and we hope to see you soon.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. You know it's hot outside, so cool down with an upright or chest freezer in stock at Owen Home Appliance Center. And don't let those beverages get hot. Get an under-counter ice machine with a built-in pump for just $12.99. Or how about a fridge out by the pool or in the garage for extra cold drinks? You can get a scratch and dent 18 cubic foot refrigerator for just $3.49 while supplies last. Go to OwenAppliance.com to learn more. That's OwenAppliance.com.
When the final whistle blows, the conversation is just getting started. Catch the Alabama Football Recap Show with Drew DeArmond and Steve Moulton on 97.7 The Zone. Brought to you by Dreamland Barbecue in Huntsville, proud title sponsor of the Recap Show. Because when it comes to football and ribs, everybody knows ain't nothing like 'em nowhere. Alabama football, Dreamland Barbecue, the perfect team.
Listen to the Woody Anderson Ford Scoreboard Show, powered by Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware. Each Friday night with Scott Tyson on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
But it's life I cannot change.
Hello and welcome back into the Blitz. It's time for the NFL Rundown.
The rundown of NFL. Oh, we didn't do that this past couple of weeks.
What?
The hype game.
Well, I guess we weren't too hyped about last week. I think that's the reason why. There weren't.
Maybe so.
I mean, there were a few hype games, but
how did we forget about the hype game?
We'll get back to the hype gauge, but we
at a time we could
do have NFL matchups to run down. If you guys missed out on any of them, you will get the down low right now. Of course, it started out the NFL season with one of the best matchups you could throw at us. It was the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens. And it looked like the Ravens had this one in the bag in Buffalo, but Josh Allen, James Cook, Keon Coleman, former Florida State man, were able to show up in that one late with 22 points in the fourth quarter to win 41-40. Again, big scores, the time that it matters. Who are you going to give it to? Josh Allen, of course. Big win for the Bills to start off the season 1-0. Ravens fall to 0-1 on that one. Joe, you have any words?
Nope, just sitting here waiting for my moment. I'm
Okay.
just waiting for my turn, ready to go. I'm also trying to figure out where we're going to do the hype gauge at.
All right, you just keep figuring
I'm trying to figure
that
that out too. Now that I've thought about it, I'm like, how did we forget about the hype gauge?
Hey, but all things considered, Lamar Jackson's still one of the best fantasy quarterbacks you can go with.
Fantasy-wise, yes.
Derrick Henry, spectacular pickup for me, I got to admit.
Fantasy-wise, he's also a good one to get. No, this was an amazing game. And this also solidifies the reason why I'm telling you, Josh Allen will bring the Buffalo Bills a Super Bowl.
Their very first Super Bowl
They
win.
will get a Super Bowl.
Wow, there you go. And Joe's good with those hot takes. He threw out that Bill Belichick and Nick Saban would be done in their respected areas. Pretty big. I'm going to hold you on that one, Joe. That was a good one. Zay Flowers, also big performance in that Ravens-Bills game. Texans versus Rams, the next one we're going to be going to, AFC versus NFC matchup. And let me tell you, the Texans offense looked like it couldn't do much of anything. And this is surprising because of what C.J. Stroud was able to bring to this Texans squad in his last 2 years, his first 2 years in the NFL. Nick Chubb just is not the right fit for the Texans. I'll say that much. This is a speedy team. They need a speedy back who can catch it out of the backfield as well. Nick Chubb is just not that. Don't want to dog him too much because the Rams had a really good game. Kyren Williams, of course, continuing to have a stellar NFL career, running back out of Notre Dame, and Puka Nacua. Always, golly, he just like it just comes like taxes. It's going to happen. One Rams wide receiver is going to be spectacular. This year it's going to be Puka Nacua because, of course, Cooper Kupp is in Seattle. Lions versus Packers, another stellar rivalry matchup here. Didn't live up to the expectations. Packers got out really fast, 10 points in the first quarter, and then continued to score consistently throughout this one. On top of that, Micah Parsons actually playing a bigger role than a lot of people thought because he actually played in every single quarter. He was limited, but he made an impact.
Micah, go get the quarterback.
Go get it.
That's easy enough.
Dude, man, he has got hair on fire. He was flying through that offensive line.
What
Jordan
am I
Love,
supposed to do is play? Micah, go get the quarterback. All right.
You'll do it. 188 yards from Jordan Love, 2 touchdowns. Romeo Doubs being that number one wide receiver with 2 receptions, 68 yards. But I will say, Tucker Kraft, Reed, all of those guys playing a big role. Still looking for Matthew Golden to make a bigger push in his first NFL season. Broncos versus the Titans. Joe, do you want to take this one away?
Titans defense played tremendous outside of Big Jeff deciding he wanted to give a little extra pushy at the very end of the game that could have cost the Titans an opportunity to get back with the football. Cam Ward also held on to the ball a little bit too long on a lot of plays. I was actually glad some of the sacks I was okay with. Some of them, you shouldn't when you're already on the 22-yard line because your team has gotten their 4th turnover of the football game. Yeah. Shouldn't take them out of field goal range, even with Sly as your kicker. So that's kind of an issue as well. Offense for the Broncos didn't look as good as it has been over the course of the last few weeks. But again, our last few seasons, especially last year, reason I say hold on that is because Titans defense may be actually good, so you don't want to hold off or take anything away from the Broncos. Their defense, legit.
No doubt about it. Bo Nix still had a really good game, and he was able to connect with Cortland Sutton, and that connection is going to continue on throughout the season, so keep an eye on it. But Broncos win this one 20-12 and move to 1-0 on the season. You look forward to the team that I was talking about with Cooper Kupp. They didn't use him that much, but he still got a few touches. Seattle loses this one in Sam Darnold's first start as the quarterback, but Charbonnet had a pretty good game. He had a touchdown. Jackson Smith-Njigba had 124 yards. But on the opposite side, Brock Purdy continues to excite 49ers fans. Christian McCaffrey, of course, has questions about his ankles, but what's new? He still put up 69 yards this one as an absolute workhorse for the 49ers. And, of course, the man that's like 50 Cent himself, Ricky Pearsall, able to have 108 yards as the leading receiver for the 49ers offense.
Which one is it Pearsall or is it Brian Robinson Jr.? Which one is 50 Cent, man? Because it can't both be.
Well,
they both had issues like this, but still.
I mean, neither of them are dead, so I can't say Biggie.
No,
that would be
they're
an
not
offensive
Biggie.
line. But the offensive lineman, you wouldn't even try and stunt on one of those guys. 49ers moved to 1-0 on the season after a 17-13 win. Very close NFC matchup in that one.
Even though they lost their number one tight end and one of the best tight ends in the NFL.
Yeah,
Could be out for multiple weeks.
Fantasy lovers of George Kittle, sorry, because he was playing really well at the start of that one. Buccaneers versus Falcons, another really close NFC matchup. Feeling like this one, it just stays the same. You want something different, you're not going to get it. The Buccaneers come out on top of this one. The Falcons actually won this series outright last season. It's just not looking like it's the case this time around.
Well, the things that what I really liked about the Falcons, even though they were losing and they did lose this game.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Pitts had 59 yards receiving. You still had Bijan Robinson had a touchdown and 100 yards receiving to go with the 24 yards rushing in this. They used him outside the tackles a lot more, get him in space. You were able to kind of move him around in this. The biggest issue again is you still are awful on third down. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
Straight up.
Just absolutely awful on that. So I think that that's going to be their biggest issue when it does come to this offense. But I do have a lot more faith in this Falcons team with Michael Penix. I still don't like the fact that he threw over 40 times, but a lot of those were dump offs to Robinson.
Yeah,
so.
that's what I was concerned about. The majority of the receptions go to Robinson. He had 100 yards in the passing game, only 24 yards in the running game. But, of course, Buccaneers win this one 23-20 with Emeka Egbuka. I'll get it perfectly one of these days.
No, you won't.
Being an absolute stud for the Buccaneers. So definitely something to look forward to. Second hour coming up next here on The Blitz.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our workhorse special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Due to popular demand, this offer is extended through September 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Welcome to week 3 of the high school football season. Over the airwaves of 97.7 ESPN The Zone is the Cotton Classic, Buckhorn and Hazel Green. Our game of the week is at Joe Davis Stadium with the Huntsville Crimson Panthers taking on the James Clemens Jets. Sparkman is at Albertville, and Westminster Christian visits Randolph. Download our app to follow all the action all season long. Just search 977 ESPN.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-Sparky.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Vector Security Champions Lane, the best pregame fan fest in college football. Visit championslane.com for updates throughout the season. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. As Alabama football prepares for Wisconsin on Saturday, here are thoughts from the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Kalen DeBoer.
Just thought overall, guys did a good job of taking everything we worked on during the week, transferring the game plan over to the game, and I think the week in general they focused on us, focused on our preparation, the week 1 to week 2 improvements that you'd expect to have, that needed to have. They did a nice job, and that's across the board. And questions about Tide, I'm sure on that. Your quarterback's always a main kind of a controller of that, and he did a nice job. I think guys just did a nice job at channeling the energy that needed to have happen throughout the week in the right things, just focused on the right areas, and so I thought they did a nice job there with that. So
I'll have more in a moment.
Tide fans, are you ready for game day in Tuscaloosa? Don't miss the ultimate pregame experience this season at Vector Security Champions Lane, opening 4 hours before each home game. This fan fest has everything you need to get pumped for kickoff. Located next to the Walk of Champions, you'll enjoy live music, player autographs, the best food trucks from all over Alabama, and ice-cold beer in our Legends Lounge beer garden, where there's never a cover charge. Check out championslane.com each week for the latest updates. Roll Tide!
If you missed last night's episode of Crimson Tide Rewind, catch it on demand on the Alabama Insider podcast, as well as a video replay on the CTSN YouTube page. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Vector Security Champions Lane. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Spencer Strider, $1.12 favorite today against the Cubs at Truist Park. The total is 8.5 over. Cubs minus 108 with Cade Horton on the mound. Atlanta Falcons, 4.5-point road dogs of the Minnesota Vikings at U.S. Bank Stadium this week on Sunday Night Football. The Vikings yesterday scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Bears on Monday Night Football. Alabama, 20.5-point home favorites with Wisconsin Saturday at home. Auburn laying 25.5 against South Alabama. Georgia Southern, 3.5-point favorites over Jacksonville State. UAB laying 11.5 at home against Akron, 52.5 the total. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. Expect to see plenty of sunshine with high temperatures warming into the mid-80s for this Tuesday. No rainfall in the forecast. Heading into our Tuesday night, expect to see clear and quiet conditions. Low temperatures falling into the upper 50s to lower 60s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, and the Blitz with you for one more hour. Then we will give it over and send it to Rich Eisen. Then right after that, Tom Abraham at noon. Then Paul. Then you have the drive coming up. May or may not be from the quarterback club.
I was also thinking the same thing. I was like, do we throw that out there?
I don't. It's a possibility. It's a maybe. It should be. I believe Wes was going to be speaking there tonight, and so I just don't know if they're going to be broadcasting. It would make a lot of sense, but yeah. Also, congratulations to the Birmingham Bowl. I mean, just you finally got yourselves a sponsor after I think like a decade of nobody sponsoring is what it feels like. Maybe I'm wrong.
It really was the Birmingham Bowl for the longest time. I mean, it maybe had like a few minor sponsors, but now it officially has a new name. Still the Birmingham Bowl. However, Joe, you were looking into it before this, and I actually recognized this brand. You were very confused. You were like, who is this?
Yeah, I was like, who is J-Lab?
Who are these people?
Who is J-Lab? Because, look, I'll be honest with you, all of my equipment that I get that this company does, I totally get, like, off-market stuff on everything. So I had no clue at who this was. But, yes, they've went through a few sponsors. 76 was a sponsor for this game in 23.
Wait, is that the coffee company?
No.
What is
the gas station?
76.
Yeah, I don't know if are there any 76s around here?
I'll look for them, Joe.
I don't even know if there are. 76 brand is in. So then you also have like Ticket Smarter, Sterling Jewelers, BBVA Compass was one for a few years. Papa John's was the bowl sponsor at one point in time as well.
I think the closest one's Decatur, actually.
Oh, is it really?
That's pretty bad.
Wow. Okay. Well, they didn't even know they actually still had them around. Really?
They haven't officially made it all the way up to Huntsville yet.
Yeah. And so J-Lab is basically a music company. They do earbuds. They do headphones. They do a lot of audio equipment. Honestly, probably something that we'd be interested in, but it's also kind of expensive, so maybe not. And so it's, like I looked their earbuds up, like $250.
Oh,
just for some earbuds.
They're competing with Apple on that one.
They're going with like those. I was like, are these better than like Beats? Is this what we're doing? Like, is this supposed to be better than that? I can't spend $250 to find out.
Maybe they can send us a pair and we can test them for them.
Yeah, I don't think that J-Lab really needs that, especially after throwing out all that big money for the Birmingham Bowl style.
What's one or two headsets? Why not?
I say that a lot of times about a lot of things in this. I totally agree with it. Also, while we're sending out some congratulations, we need to congratulate our very own Jim Cantori of 97.7 ESPN The Zone, because I woke up this morning to find out that our very own Grace Anello of Way 31 is now engaged. And so congratulations to her. I want some details about how this happened. Not, how you got engaged. I know man proposes.
Was this like a Travis Kelce, like Taylor Swift moment? Like,
no,
what do we got?
But here's the thing. Imagine being her boyfriend, planning out a proposal for months, and then he still gets upstaged by Mississippi State beating Arizona State.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I genuinely want to know if he proposed before or after.
Or like during the game, and she was just cheering, and she said yes.
And she, I want to know how this happened, because look, man, you don't understand how much goes into an engagement and a proposal.
No idea.
I waited, I waited for a while, but I had to plan this out months in advance. And even with that, going into the day and the night that I was going to propose, I wasn't even 100% sure that my then girlfriend, now my wife, was going to be in the place that I needed her to be in so that I could pop the question. Then once we got to the situation, which I did it. See, when I say where I did it, it sounds horrible. So I did it when I was hosting trivia down in Birmingham. Like, I was doing it then. But when I say I proposed to her in a bar, it just sounds really weird.
It's the trivia. I mean, the trivia on its own sounds a little weird.
It was. So I had my buddy Rockstar. He played a song for her. I totally set her up on this. And during the trivia questioning and during the trivia game, part of it, after every single round, we bring somebody up and they have to spin a wheel, and they were doing it. We did it every single week It was,
wow.
I mean, it was awesome.
If this is going where I think it's going, Joe, you put a lot of pressure on yourself.
I did
You
put
made
a lot of pressure.
show out of this.
I did because again, by the time that we actually did it, I like looked over at Rockstar and I was like, all right, we're ready to go. Let's do this. And he's like, okay. So I bring her up, and instead of having her spin, I was just like, no. See, guys, y'all don't understand. This is my girlfriend. I'm picking the one she's doing because I know her strengths and I know her weaknesses.
Will you marry me? Will you please?
So what I did is we had one where you had to guess the song that was being played.
Okay.
So I had Rockstar perform a song, and then the moment she heard it, she was just like, "What the heck?" And so I did it right there. That was the way that I proposed.
What was the song?
It was "Marry Me" from Train.
Oh, okay.
It was "Marry Me" from Train.
Slick.
So it was. She loved the song.
Smooth.
What was really funny is I did this on the mic. Like I was in front of everybody, did it on the mic, and when I was like, I even said for 5 points in the game, will you marry me? And so what was really funny is there was a drunk guy like over to the right, and he goes, "You serious? See, for real?"
It's like, I want that one. Easy. That's easy. 5 points right there.
Yeah, man, 5 points. Yeah, of course I will. Yeah. Like, it was hilarious because he was like, wait, for real? Like, everybody sobered up for a few seconds. Like, I think I had to buy drinks for the people that sobered up real fast because they were like, wait, is he legit? Like, is he joking? Like, what's happening right here? So that's how I did it. So I had to plan this out for months. So I can only imagine how Grace Anello's boyfriend was trying to plan this out. And if he did it, gets down on a knee, proposes, she says yes, she's excited, and then she looks up at the TV and she's like, "We're winning! Oh my God, we're winning!" And he just like literally just got totally pushed to the side because Mississippi State's beating Arizona State.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Genuinely curious about this.
It's definitely intriguing. We were talking a little bit about the Birmingham Bowl and their brand new sponsorship that they've got. We also got a guy that wants to talk a little bit about that. It is Brandon. How you doing, Brandon?
So Birmingham has a sponsor, and I am really shocked that it is not the Hornaday Bullet Bowl.
Yeah, if it was still at Legion Field, that would actually be the perfect sponsorship for that. Gun and Pawn.
I was actually thinking that exact same joke. I was like, nah, it's probably offensive.
No. When this game was happening in Legion Field, like, trust me, you were sweating going to the game just because you had to have a flak jacket on just to get inside of Legion Field. Legion Field's a dump. I know how emotionally connected so many people are to that stadium because of the history. That is a dump.
Well, it's like Soldier Field. And now the Bears, of course, announced that they're going to be moving. Of course they are.
The only way Legion Field would ever be useful is if you tore it down and that's where you built a brand new like NFL stadium on top of it. And then you built up the community around it, very similar to what teams are doing now as part of the plan. That's the only use for Legion Field now. That place is literally just, you do not go there when the sun goes down. It's like mama calling you from down the street. You're like, get out of here, boy. You better go. And I mean, you're Dukes of Hazzarding it out of Legion Field. Like, you're like, go, Bo, go. I'll jump in the window. Like, it's one of those.
I enjoyed some games there. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you guys, so I was in Gadsden last week. When did this Gadsden and Buckhorn become such a trash-talking scenario? Because for a lot of people, they didn't even realize that's a region game now.
Yeah. And I go back 3 years ago. That's when, 4 actually. That's when I started really taking notice in this rivalry. And obviously, Gadsden City, a really good team. They've been able to get the wins, I believe, each of the last 4 years. But it has just been it's a hard-nosed, hard-hitting game, and now it's getting just a little bit better. And of course, it was still a loss. It was Buckhorn's first loss of the season. But Gadsden City, they don't pull any punches. That is a very good high school team. But this one, I started taking notice 4 years ago.
Dang,
but I know it's been going back a little bit.
Buckhorn can't even score against Gadsden City.
It's a tough defense, man.
Like this game right now, like I'm looking at it. First of all, Buckhorn hasn't won this series since 2014. And that is, I want to say 7 or 8 losses in a row, 7 losses in a row that they now have. And outside of scoring 14 points in 23, it was like 6 points, 7 points, 7 points, 0 points. Like, and then you have what happened like in 14-15 where they actually did score a few, but Gaston City's dominated this.
It's one of those frustrating rivalries because, again, these guys, they do chip back and forth. They throw out, words left and right. They push, they shove. But tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, I was in a barbecue restaurant in there and was just listening. People were talking. And the guy said, yeah. He said, we're going to have to go up here and show the money what it's about.
The money? Nobody says that about football in North Alabama. What are you talking about?
Oh, my gosh.
I
love it. I love it. It's always – this is always the scenario with these games. Whenever there's one school that people have this whole rhetoric around. I mean, yeah, Buckhorn is a beautiful campus and it's in a beautiful area, but, like, you don't think a wealth of money is going through there just because it's in the middle of nowhere.
You didn't go to Hewitt Trustful. You didn't go play Thompson or Hoover or Spain Park. Like, those are money. Like, those are the ones where they hire their coaches and those guys are making six figures. Like, no, that doesn't happen in North Alabama. Are you kidding me? The money, please. It's the reason why our teams never make it past the first round.
I'd never seen the Buckhorn campus, so I wasn't sure, but I heard a lot of talk going on amongst some guys there, and I guess one of them had a son that was on the team. And I was listening, and I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "So Buckhorn's really nice then." So I wasn't
clean.
Wasn't really sure.
Oh, it's a nice high school, and absolutely, it was. My wife, her stepdad was actually the head coach for Buckhorn football for a long time, a long time, and so that's kind of the reason why my wife loves football as much as she did, because she was around it as much as she was. But it was one of those that. I don't think of Buckhorn with money. The campus is beautiful. It's very clean. So it's very nice.
This is the same rivalry we see up in like Tennessee with Franklin and Brentwood, or even up in Winchester where we are in the first hour with Tullahoma and Franklin County. Tullahoma thinks that Franklin County's got the money. Franklin County thinks that
you want to go see money.
Shelbyville's got the money.
You want to go see money? Go look at Oakland High School. Go to Oakland High School in the borough. That right there is when you say, "Let's go. We're gonna go up there and show the money something." Yeah, that's money. That's different.
Well, and it kills me that where the conversation began was they were talking about all the new restrictions coming into stadiums in Gadsden, all the stuff you can't do anymore. And I guess in some of those, you can't be under 16 by yourself. You can't bring stuff in anymore. You can't bring food in.
That's everywhere, though. Like that's every school. My wife and I were talking about that because I forget what high school. Oh, no, it was Decatur and Austin. When Decatur and Austin put out like the new regulations or whatever for fans coming to high school football games, that's everywhere. Hazel Green has this. Sparkman has this. Like it's everywhere. Like, that is now something that they're having to crack down on because of what's happened at high school games, over the past few years. I mean, there's a reason why we do this, and a lot of it does go back to what happened at the Hazel Green game a few years ago, whenever they literally had to stop the game and the game was suspended because of what was happening outside the field.
Well, at least the Gadsden City Buckhorn didn't turn into Giants Commanders in the parking lot.
No. That was. There's probably actually more fans that were paying attention to that at some point in time. You sent us this video, and I watched it about 3 or 4 times. Never ever mess with a guy that's wearing a John Riggins jersey. Just don't. Okay. That man is an absolute.
Is that not the best part?
That was my favorite part about that. Like I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you do not realize the GOAT that man is, that's on the back of that man's jersey right there. John Riggins was one of the nastiest fullback, H-back players that was ever of the 80s. And he was one of the most amazing characters. Look, I'm total seriousness. If we would have had another son, we were naming him Riggins. Like that was 100% the play. I love John Riggins. And then that, not only do you do it, the guy that was trying to break you up, which I'm pretty sure was in a Michigan jersey, he's the one that was trying to be peacemaker. Then the Giants fan goes after him and he beats him down. Now I will say beat down is a hard phrase to use because those swings were not the best. They connected.
Had some booze behind them.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they were punching like.
I think I'm going to get me a Tim Riggins jersey to wear this Friday night.
Dude, I love me some Tim Riggins. I do. Whenever I talk to somebody and I was like, yeah, man, Tim Riggins is in that. They're like, wait, what? Matter of fact, I was talking to John about this because it was during the Auburn Baylor series when we were talking about the Branch Davidians. And I said, go watch.
The Davidians.
Yeah, go watch the Waco bio series that was out, and I said, Tim Riggins plays the leader. He absolutely does. He plays David Koresh, and he was amazing in it.
But he's not coming back to the new Friday Night Lights, which sucks.
Wait, is there a new Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, it's in the
They
works.
claim there's a reunion.
No.
And Tim Riggins, dude, that literally is the biggest thing that he ever did in his life. That actually kind of, well, I think also it kind of typecast him for a very long time. It's taken him a long time to get away from that. Like, he's had to do a lot of different characters just to try to get away from Tim Riggins.
Well, I love the fact that when people say they're going to Huntsville, they're going to go see the money.
No. As far as the city is concerned, absolutely. As far as high school football is concerned in North Alabama, there is not a chance in this world. Because if the money was here high school football-wise, we would be getting further than the first round. Playing the money. Are you kidding me? Please.
That's some good stuff. Hey, and I'll tell you something else is hard to get used to. We went to Spring Garden and Sand Rocks volleyball game last night. They all wear pants on the Spring Garden side. And it just is really weird from what you're used to seeing.
Are we talking like sweatpants? What are we talking for volleyball?
Hold up. Okay, let's back this way up because I'm kind of confused on this. What are you used to seeing in volleyball?
I've seen the few games I've been to, like the vacuum sealed shorts that you wonder if they're cutting off circulation. And we go over there, and that's the only school I see wearing pants, like full length pants.
Yeah, some of the volleyball is about to start for UAH. In fact, they've already started on the road. They have their invitational this weekend, and you will see. And we appreciate that phone call, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is that there's some girls that now go with like basically leggings is what it is the equivalent of leggings is what they'll be using. So, I mean, they are obviously for volleyball, but instead of you don't want to wear the shorts, they go with like what would be the equivalent of wearing leggings.
I gotcha. And I mean, I guess that could stop the what is it? The rub that you get from the actual the wood itself.
Well, and obviously you've got like knee pads and things like that you're going to be wearing as well on that, which you try to do. But it also does help you give a little bit more padding to it. I mean, I have one pair of leggings like that I rock, and I don't rock them by themselves. That's what I wear under. They're for their cold gear.
Joe, I don't think men can really rock that the way that women can. But,
no. We absolutely. Well, you can if you've got the body for it, and then you're in the gym working out. Pretty much, if you got the body for it, you can rock almost anything. It really is the case.
I still need something flowy on the top, though.
Yeah. So it's but I wear it like if you will ever see us like whenever we start getting into these cold football games, I'll always have those on under the pants, and I've literally had these things since my senior year of high school. But it's those type of like Under Armour cold gear type of things that are skin tight that they'll wear.
Well, we're not talking volleyball in the next segment. We're not talking Tim Riggins and Friday Night Lights.
Tim Riggins was the man in Friday Night Lights, bro.
But we are talking to Robbie Falk with Starkville Daily.
That's where Tim Riggins' guy's name was from, John Riggins. Sorry, I know.
Talking Mississippi State Bulldogs football as they got a big win against one of the top teams in the country, the Arizona State Red Devils.
Our first question. Our first question is going to be, do you think that Grayson Ello's now fiance made a bad decision in proposing on probably the same day that Arizona State got beat down by Mississippi State? Which do you think his engagement got overshadowed?
All right.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
You guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Coming up in about 20 minutes from right now, we are going to have our Dogs of the Week. You can do the same thing by giving us a call at 256-576-977. Let us know who your Dog of the Week is. And we're not talking about like the bad way. We're talking about who was that dog this week. We need to know who that guy was. You want to shine the spotlight on. And we'll be doing that coming up at 10:45. But let's talk a little bit about Mississippi State, because this has been a Mississippi State hour. Now we're gonna bring Robbie Falk in from this On 3 Saltville Daily. We're going to talk about this because my first question for Robbie as we hop in on this is Robbie, where would you put this upset that happened Saturday night for Mississippi State as far as the history of the Bulldogs whenever it comes to their biggest upsets?
Well, I don't know how far up there it is as far as, the level of competition. I want to see what ASU looks like by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they dropped out of one poll this week, so who knows, but I think it's a good team. To me, I would just say, as far as a win that Mississippi State absolutely needed, it's way up there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just the perception part of it, getting some kind of momentum within the program, that was exactly what this program needed for the shot in the arm.
All right.
And it's everything. It's the atmosphere, they upgraded a lot of the game day experience. Everybody got a chance to see that on national television. It couldn't have happened any better than how it played out. The way the game played out, the way it finished, the crowd, this is exactly what this program needed. So in terms of that, it was as big as it gets at Mississippi State for a program that had, from the perception side of things nationally, had just kind of bottomed out. this is exactly what they needed.
All right. So the reason why I was also curious in asking that, because I'm curious about the history of the game and where Mississippi State fans are going to put this in. And, when was the last time that you would think Mississippi State fans had something that was to this size about what you were just talking about, how much it meant to the program, getting them in the direction they needed, how the fan base reacted to it afterwards? When was the last time you could remember a win like that?
I think for me, this was very similar to maybe the ReliaQuest Bowl in 2022. Okay. You just lost Mike Leach, and there was a lot of concern about where the program was headed. Zach Arnett took over. You beat Illinois in the bowl game, and I think everybody just kind of took a breath and said, okay, things are going to be fine. Now, they weren't fine. But at the time, that was, to me, that's probably the last really big win they had. As far as atmosphere, things of that nature, this was as good as it's been since 2018 in Davis Wade Stadium. And to me, this atmosphere exceeded that matchup with Florida when Dan Mullen came back in 2018. And Mississippi State lost that game. So just all things considered, playing in that environment, getting the job done, it's the biggest win in a long time for this program. And I don't know where it goes from here. I don't know what ASU looks like the rest of the season. That they could have been vastly overrated. I don't know. But for right now, and for where we are and hindsight and everything coming later, that win was absolutely massive for Jeff Lebby and the program.
Well, and here's the reason why I was kind of asking you this is because on the show, obviously, a lot of us know that Mississippi State is a huge meteorology school, and we have a massive Mississippi State fan that works for our local television station in Way 31, and she comes on with us on Fridays to talk about the weather. She's brought her cowbells on, she's rang them on it, everything. Massive, huge fan. We found out that over the weekend, her boyfriend decided to propose before the game against Arizona State. And I thought to her, and I texted her just now to get the confirmation. I was like, your boyfriend chooses to propose hours before this game happens, and it gets overshadowed by the win. I was just curious if you think he made a bad decision in doing it before the game because he got overshadowed.
Well, I'll tell you this: if I proposed to my wife at a football sporting event or on the day of a football sporting event and we followed it up with watching football, she would kill me. She actually probably would have said no. But it sounds like your friend is a big time Bulldog and loves her football, so I can't sympathize with that.
Okay.
Because my wife looked at the score on her phone just to figure out when I was going to come home and help with the kids.
Yeah.
So
that's my wife now.
She didn't watch a single second of the game.
Yeah. And so the reason I asked is because she's a huge fan. She's told us all the history of the cowbells and everything. And the first thing I thought of is, one, bro, you proposed on a football Saturday in a massive game. You could have waited until like a POS game. Like you could have done that. Yeah. But instead he does it before Arizona State, and then they pull the upset, and all Mississippi State fans are going crazy about this. And I'm thinking, yeah, you made a bad decision. Like she says that this just made it double good. But
that's what I was going with.
But in my head, I'm going, yeah, no, you're going to remember that. But then you're going to follow it up with, yeah, then right after that, we watched Mississippi State upset Arizona State, and it was amazing. Like, you cannot get overshadowed.
Well, all that matters is how she feels. I'm speaking as an experienced married man of 13 years now. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what he thinks or whatever she came away with it means it's correct.
Yeah.
If she says it's fine, man, good for that guy. Just don't get married on a football weekend.
No. I think at the end of the day, he is actually the winner, of course, getting that yes. And we like to throw out one last congratulations to them. But
she just texted and says it was the perfect day. He surprised me well in advance. And then she says, what are the odds that this was happening? It was done so early that now I was able to enjoy both of them separately.
Very
I was like,
nice.
okay,
Very nice.
But I'm still as the guy going, crap.
Yeah.
Man, I'm totally disagreeing.
It worked out.
It did.
It worked out.
Well,
as long as she's happy, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely worked out in Starkville the other night. Of course, cowbells were ringing the entire way through, and the whole country got to listen to it, and it played out in their favor. And one reason why it went in their favor was because Blake Shapen starting to fall into his own. Of course, had a few starts last year, gets that injury, then he comes back stronger than ever. Talk about the quarterback position for Mississippi State right now and how you guys can keep that rolling in the right direction.
Yeah, I think there's just great confidence in Blake Shapen with everybody on the team, and Jeff Lebby, he loves him, and that's a guy that knows as much about quarterbacks as anybody in the country, and he's got a very high percentage hit rate if you look at the guys that he's coached. So that tells you a lot about what they think in Blake Shapen. You look at that at Saturday, I thought there were times where he maybe held onto the ball a little too long or took an unnecessary hit here and there, and that's what they're trying to prevent to keep him healthy. But as you look at that final drive, man, I don't know if he could have been better than what we saw in that final drive. He had an incomplete pass that hit a receiver right in the hands, so his accuracy on that last drive was amazing, and then the play call for the touchdown was executed perfectly. And if you look back at that play, a lot of things had to go right for Mississippi State. I think a cornerback blitz got disrupted. I think Mississippi State's tight end ran into the cornerback running his route and tripped him up. That would have been a very bad ending for Mississippi State there. Incredible blitz pickup by Devon Booth in the backfield to protect Shapen. And then you get your fastest receiver out in the open space, and all you got to do is get him the ball. I mean, that last drive was perfection, and I think it took not even a minute off the clock for Mississippi State. We just have not seen Mississippi State do that many times. And it's like I said after the game, I wrote in my column that we've all seen those movies before with Mississippi State. They get a 17-0 lead. The other team takes momentum. They have a 95-yard drive. It looks like they're about to rip Mississippi State's heart out. And instead, the Bulldogs end up turning the tables. We haven't seen that at Mississippi State. It doesn't play out like that, like how it did. So it was just a magical game, and Blake Shapen was absolutely a massive reason why, and I think he's a guy that he feels really comfortable in that offense right now.
Robbie Falk is our guest from Starkville Daily on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And, of course, it came down to that last touchdown drive, throwing it to Brennan Thompson, who is a transfer brand new to this team. And he's not the only one. Jeff Lebby, he went out, grabbed a lot of new pieces. But talk a little bit about Brennan Thompson and what exactly he's going to be bringing to this team all season long.
Yeah, Brennan Thompson is, he's a former four-star wide receiver, was track speed guy out of high school. He goes to Texas. Jeff Lebby is the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, and they're able to get him to transfer to Oklahoma. And they utilized him in big plays during Lebby's time, but he only had, I think, 7 catches. He averaged 25, 30 yards of completion. So it was a guy that could take the top off the defense, but was kind of looked at as kind of a gadget guy, not really an all-around receiver. His targets went up last year in an offense that I didn't think really pulled out the best in him. But Lebby knew all about him, and Lebby knew that he was the guy in this offense, if he had full control over him at this stage in his career, he could do some special things with him. And through 2 weeks, I think that's been incredibly accurate. And not only is he such a talented guy and one of the fastest receivers in college football, if not the fastest, he is a great, great dude. Incredibly mature. He's already started a family himself. He just got married this year. They're kind of really settled into Starkville well. He fits the culture here so well. Loves to hunt and fish, so he's right in his element. And he has been, from day one of the most important leaders on this team. I mean, for a transfer to come in and to be your SEC Media Day representative, that speaks volumes. And we talked to Anthony Evans yesterday, another wide receiver that came in from Georgia, and he said that Brennan Thompson was his visit host on his official visit when he came to Mississippi State out of the transfer portal. Okay. That's a guy that hosted a visit like a month into being on campus. So that tells you everything you need to know about Brennan Thompson. He's come here, he's hit the ground running, and he's got a chance to be a star this year.
Well, and as we're joined right now by Robbie Falk of On3, I was curious, What is the thought process about now how this team can play for the remainder of 2025? Because this team is a very different team with Blake Shapen there. I mean, it is, their season last year, I think, would have been much different if he was still the quarterback and he doesn't get injured. So how do you guys see this going forward? Because I know that coming up in the next few weeks, obviously, you do have Tennessee, you do have Texas A&M, you still have Texas. Like, there's a lot of obviously tough SEC games to come, but we're kind of looking at them a little differently now.
Yeah, you're looking at them a lot differently. I think you see a team that's so much more competitive up front. They have a lot more depth, a lot more talent on the defensive side of the ball, which was just terrible last year, one of the worst defenses they've ever fielded. And they went out in the transfer portal and they completely turned that over. And I thought that brought back some key players from the defense last year that you could kind of build around. Now, they took a huge hit on Saturday. They lost their best defensive lineman, Will Whitson, for the season. He's out with a torn ACL, and that's a huge loss because he was a guy that was just a game wrecker, and you don't really have a lot of players like him on the roster. But I think that they can manipulate some things, and guys are obviously going to have to step up. They can be average on the defensive side of the ball. And if you're average on the defensive side of the ball and you elevate yourself on offense, it's a team that could upset some teams this year. I think we're looking at this team totally different than maybe we did preseason or even 2 weeks ago. And I don't think the SEC right now is just, 3 or 4 teams that are just drastically better than everybody else. I think there's a lot of parity in this league, and there's a lot of question marks about who's number one and who's going to take over the SEC. I think there's a lot of beatable teams. So I'm not going to just mark automatic losses up and down the schedule the rest of the way, but State's going to have to play extremely well to beat teams like Texas and A&M and Georgia and Tennessee and Ole Miss. The schedule is absolutely brutal. But I do think that 6 wins in a bowl game is not off the table after what they did on Saturday. I think they are squarely in the mix to get to that point. You're going to have to upset a team or two to do it, probably.
No doubt about it. And we would love to see it as SEC fans, of course. We'd love to see this league get more and more competitive. And it definitely looks that way this season. But, of course, not everything went perfectly for Mississippi State this past weekend. But they do get a nice challenge against Alcorn State before face-off against NIU. And then they're into SEC play. What are some things that they need to shore up before getting into that tough conference slate?
Yeah, I think these next 2 weeks are big for Mississippi State to just kind of maintain this positive move forward. They need to get better running the football. That's definitely the biggest black eye right now for State's offense, is they just have not been able to establish the run like they need to, and that's vital for this offense to be able to succeed. Blake Shapen is going to be able to work a lot better in that offense with the running game being on top of its game. So that's a big part of it. They've got to get healthy, especially on the offensive line. They've had a couple of injuries there. They lost the starting right tackle for the season, but Albert Reese has stepped in, has been really good. He was SEC co-offensive lineman of the week this week. They need to get healthy on both sides of the ball. They need to shore up a lot of those issues in the run game, both offensively and defensively. And this is why this has worked out so perfectly. You had 2 games that were kind of iffy for you. And, Southern Miss was a lot better. You didn't know what they had. You couldn't afford to stub your toe there. And then Arizona State presented a tremendous opportunity. You get through that 2-0, and now you have 2 games that you should win. And these should be weeks where you are knocking all the rust off and you're playing your best football when Tennessee comes to town. And that has a chance to be a really, really special atmosphere in a few weeks when Tennessee comes to town. But State needs to take care of business these next 2 weeks and stay healthy.
Oh, I think Tennessee's going to feel it whenever they come into Starkville. Of course, those cowbells leave you with a little bit of tinnitus when you leave the stadium. But, Robbie, we appreciate you hopping on for the very first time. Let the people know where they can find your work covering Mississippi State Bulldogs football.
Yeah, on Twitter, I'm at Robbie Falk on 3. That's my Mississippi State coverage over there on Twitter, and you can find us at Maroon and White Daily. We have an incredible community over there of Mississippi State fans. We just started this site from scratch a couple years ago, and it has been absolutely booming. One of the best message boards on the On3 network, top 5 in traffic after week 1 in college football. So you can check us out over there. Also work for the Starkville Daily News, providing high school football coverage and Mississippi State coverage there. And I'm co-host of the Thunder and Lightning podcast with Brian Haydad on Super Talk Mississippi. If you're ever interested in Mississippi State sports, you can find us 5 days a week right there. We have a blast, and I think you guys would enjoy it.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely,
Robbie,
man.
appreciate you, man. I hope you have a wonderful next few weeks, and then, hey, continue it on through the SEC slate. We'd love to see Mississippi State possibly upset the Volunteers. It'd be great, man.
Yeah, guys. Appreciate you for having me.
Thanks, sir.
Great stuff from Robbie Falk. You guys can go and check him out over on Twitter. Robbie Falk on 3 is where you can find him. I think we appeased the Mississippi State alum. I think that they deserve this win.
No, it's amazing.
And here in the area, there's not a time I'm going down the Parkway and I'm not seeing somebody with a Mississippi State license plate on their car. I'm just like, where are these people? Why there's so many of them?
Well, and it's because obviously with Starkville being so close to Alabama, a lot of them do come here, whether it's Birmingham or whether it is Huntsville. And let's be honest, if you got to choose between the two, you know which way to go. Of course, we're going to go up there and show them boys with the money how the thing's going down here.
Of course.
So there are a ton of Mississippi State fans. I've worked all throughout the entire state, and everywhere that I work, I'm around multiple Mississippi State fans. So there is a good number of them that do live in the Tennessee Valley.
Well, when we get back, there might be a Bulldog on the Dog of the Week. There might not be. Who really knows? But when we get back, 256-576-97.7 is the number to get in as we get in to the Dog of the Week here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
This is The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
We are a championship school, and school is in session.
Makes the catch, makes them bang into each other, stays on his feet, breaks the tackle, scores.
Join us Saturday as the Crimson Tide hit the turf to face the Wisconsin Badgers. Our coverage begins at 8 a.m. on your home for Alabama football.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Due to popular demand, this offer is extended through September 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Talking ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Final segment, best segment on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and the Blitz. Joe Hunk, John Abraham. As we are wrapping up the Blitz on this Tuesday, coming up tomorrow, we're going to have the Cover 5. We're working on, we need somebody from Wisconsin that we're going to be talking to as well. We're going to be working on that over the course of the next 24 hours.
We'll have somebody.
So we're going to be doing a lot of those things. Phone lines are open to you as well. We have about 4 or 5 minutes to go with those. But first, let's go ahead and do the coolest. It's the coolest thing that we probably do. Is it the coolest?
It's time to unleash the Dog of the Week.
Dog of the Week, where every single week, John Abraham and myself, we pick out 2 players that just stood out because of those guys were just dogs.
No.
It doesn't matter what sport, doesn't matter. Dog of the Week is what we're going with.
You going some other type of sport this week?
No, I'm not this week, but I'm just saying, man, if you last week went racing, you did, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Last week?
Yeah.
I went like a few weeks ago.
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
These weeks are running together, man.
They are. It was whenever Connor Zilic fell down and then he came back and he did some of his race. Joe, we also got callers on the line, so let's try and get out ours. Mine is actually going to come from that Jacksonville Jaguars versus Carolina Panthers game. And I'm going to go with one of the Etienne brothers, and I'm going to go with Travis Etienne because last year this kid did not show out like I expected. But this year, in one game, he showed out to enough to the point where they could get rid of Tank Bigsby, and Jacksonville also brought in a 5th and a 6th round pick. So Tank Bigsby is not a Jaguar anymore, but Etienne,
he got an upgrade.
Yeah, he did. He's on the Eagles now, by the way. Etienne had 143 yards on 16 attempts with a long of 71. So, there you go. That's going to be mine. No touchdowns, no anything else, but already a pretty stellar season for Etienne, to say the least.
I am going to go high school on mine as well. It is going to be from the quarterback of Jasper, which his name is Lincoln Smothers. He passed for 13. He was 13 of 16 passing. He threw for 180 yards. He had 1 touchdown. and Jasper defeated Decatur 48-13. That's not the cool part. He also had 4 carries for 224 yards and a touchdown as well, a 73-yard touchdown run, a 65-yard touchdown run, two other runs that did not result in touchdowns for a total of 404 total yards of offense as Jasper absolutely destroyed Decatur last Friday.
No.
Yeah.
Look, look, ETN was good just because his running game and also Jacksonville Jaguars able to get in a few draft picks by letting go of Tank Bigsby. But I'd like to hear yours as well. 256-576-97.7. We got Jason on with us. Jason, how you doing, man?
My dog of the week is going to be Blake Shapen, the least talented quarterback in the SEC, made the biggest play of any quarterback in the SEC this weekend.
Man, I just went back and rewatched his fourth quarter and that last drive that they made after. First off, Mississippi State let Arizona State get down to like the 2-yard line in a tie game, held them to just a field goal, which was tremendous. And then Blake Shapen with a tremendous beautiful post route pass.
Oh, he just chucked it up there.
Then the wide receiver tried to almost use the referee as a blocker for him to get into the end zone. It was a great play.
Hey, I want to do my underdog pick.
Go for it.
And it's going to be associated with a bulldog, a dog. I'm going with Tennessee Volunteers to take down Georgia this weekend.
Okay.
Well, that's going to be a big upset, especially since their 2 starting cornerbacks are going to be out in the game. Like, that's going to be a big deal now.
And that's 3.5 points. So if Tennessee does win it, you get 3.5 points towards the end goal. Good pick from you, Jason. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right.
We will, because it's football season. I don't think we're ever going to have a bad one. Of course, this slate of SEC football is looking pretty stout. Yeah, more or less. Oklahoma versus Temple, South Alabama versus Auburn.
Hey, why'd you start with the crappy games?
Yeah, the good ones are going to be Tennessee versus Georgia, Alabama, Wisconsin. Arkansas's face off against Ole Miss, Florida versus LSU. What a tasty morsel that's going to be.
The Florida game would have been a lot bigger if they would have, had to lose to their big brother over there at USF.
Mm-hmm. Texas A&M versus Notre Dame, big-time matchup right there, with finishing off with Vanderbilt versus South Carolina. So a lot of fun SEC games for us to look forward to. We'll be talking about every single one of them throughout this week. For me and Joe, we're out of here. We got Rich Eisen and Tom Abraham coming up next here on The Zone.
Exceptional outcomes start with exceptional therapists, and that's what you'll find at Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy. With 7 convenient locations across North Alabama, Johnson & Hayes offers expert care close to home. Our experienced clinicians specialize in everything from orthopedic and neurological rehab to TMJ, pelvic health, and lymph